I cut the Wi-Fi my brother-in-law resells to his tenants. So my brother-in-law Danny owns this little 4-unit building about 2 streets over from me. Nothing fancy. He bought it cheap like 6 years ago and he's always bragging about how it runs itself. I never really thought about what that meant until this year. Here's the thing. Danny's building sits right at the edge of where my property line ends. When he bought it, he asked if he could mount a little antenna thing on the side of my garage that faces his place. I said sure, whatever, I didn't care. He said it was for a security camera. I honestly forgot about it. Fast forward. Back in the spring, my internet started crawling at night, like buffering a video for 2 minutes slow. I called the company, they ran tests, said my line was fine, but I had an unusual number of devices connected. I counted mine. Phones, TV, my kid's tablet, maybe 8 things. They said they were seeing closer to 30. I mentioned it to my wife and she goes, ask Danny, he set up that antenna, right? So I called him. I go, hey, weird question, is that camera thing on my garage doing something to my Wi-Fi? And he got real quiet for a second and said, what do you mean? Not a question, just what do you mean? He laughed and said, oh, that's probably just interference, man, don't worry about it. And then he changed the subject to the football game. Danny does that. He talks fast when he doesn't want you thinking. So a couple weeks later, I'm dropping off a package that got delivered to my house by mistake, and I'm standing in the hallway of his building, and there's this laminated sign taped by the mailboxes. Wi-Fi included. Network, garage A 5G. Ask management for password. Management. That's Danny. He calls himself management. I stood there for a minute. Garage 5G. Coming off the antenna. On my garage. Running through my line, the one I pay $90 a month for. I didn't say anything to him yet. I went home and I did the math. 4 units. He charges each of them, I found out later, an extra $40 a month for utilities and internet. That's $160 a month. Off my connection. He's been doing it for years. I called him that night. I kept it calm. I said, Danny, are you giving your tenants internet off my Wi-Fi? And he sighed like I was the one being difficult. He said, look, it's barely anything. It's the same signal either way. You're not losing anything. I said, my internet's been dying every night. He said, so upgrade your plan. They've got a faster one. That's what he said. Upgrade my plan. So he could keep selling my internet to 4 families and charging me the difference in slowness. I said, why don't you just get your building its own line? And he goes, because that's like $60 a month. I don't gotta spend. Why would I do that when this works? Honest, at least. He said this works about stealing from me. I told my wife. She was more mad than I was, honestly, because Danny's her brother, and she said this is exactly the kind of thing he pulls. She said, he'll never fix it if it's free. He'll drag it out forever. She was right. I gave him a deadline anyway. I said, you've got till the 1st of the month to get your own internet. After that, I'm shutting mine off to your building. He said, you can't do that. My tenants need it. I said, your tenants are paying you for it. That's your problem. He said, you're really gonna do your own family like this over $60. I said, you've been doing me for years, Danny. The first came and went. Nothing. No new line, no call, no nothing. He figured I'd cave. He's known me 20 years, and he figured I didn't have it in me. So on the 2nd, at 7 p.m., I went into my router settings, found garage 5G. It was a guest network he'd set up on my equipment years ago when I wasn't watching. One click, deleted it. Then I changed my main password too, and I unplugged the antenna off the garage and set it on his front step like a returned library book. My phone rang at 7:40. Danny. I let it go. He called 5 more times. Then a text. My tenants are losing their minds. One of them works from home. You need to turn it back on right now. I texted back one line. Tell management to call his internet provider. He called again. I picked up that time. He was yelling about how I was gonna cost him tenants, how one guy was threatening to withhold rent, how I was being a jerk over nothing. I waited till he ran out of air. I said $60, Danny. It was always just $60. Go pay it. He's been paying it for 2 weeks now. His own line, his own name on the bill.